the Kansas City Chiefs. Brought to you by the Marines. Today, celebrating 210 proud years of history.
Wild scene, a ticker tape parade for the World Series champion Kansas City Royals. For the Kansas City Chiefs, who play just across the way from the Royals at Arrowhead, this season has been no cause for celebration. Following the strong start, they dropped 5 in a row today. They go up against the Pittsburgh club that is involved in a wacky four-way tie for the AFC Central lead. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert along with Bob Griese. And Bob, I guess when you've lost 5 in a row, you grasp for positive signs, and the Chiefs are trying to build on the fact that they played better, although losing last week to Houston.
Well, not only did they play a little bit better in a loss, but they lost some key performers. Henry Marshall, their fine wide receiver, and Art Still, their all-pro in from last year, both out for the rest of the season. The thing the Chiefs have to do is come back and play well against the Pittsburgh defense, ranked number 3 in the entire league and number 1 against the pass.
And Pittsburgh comes off the last second victory over Cleveland. The key play, a 32-yard touchdown run by Walter Abercrombie, and of course Chuck Noll, the Steelers head coach, always likes to do it on the ground.
Well, he likes to establish the run. Whether he has Mark Malone in there or whether he has David Woodley, he likes to establish the run and then go to his 2 fine wide receivers.
And Pittsburgh with a record of 4-5, so depending on your point of view, they are on top in the AFC Central.
Or if you're a pessimist, they're on the bottom. But the key thing is, 7-game season for the Steelers. Noah has emphasized this. They can win it if they play better than the rest of the teams.
And if Kansas City were in the AFC Central, they'd be only a game behind. But unfortunately for the Chiefs, they are in the AFC West, and they are in last place. Chiefs winning the toss. They will receive the kickoff by Gary Anderson. And it's Jeff Smith on the return. Smith, the rookie from Nebraska. A 24-yard return, and here is Bill Kenney leading the Kansas City offense out of the field. Mike Pruitt, a pickup 3 weeks ago, and has been seeing quite a bit of action in the backfield now with Herman Hurd. Stephon Page replacing the injured Henry Marshall, but lined up at the opposite side. He used to line up alongside Carlos Carson. John Alt for the injured Matt Herkenhoff. Scott Auer replacing the injured Brad Buddy. First down from the 30. And Kenney airing it out. It is incomplete. Stephon Page out of bounds. Covered by the right corner, Harvey Clayton.
Harvey had him beat by 5 yards. The ball was so poorly thrown, underthrown, that he had to wait for it, and it was out of bounds. You see great protection the first play of the ball game. You see right there, he has to slow up to catch the football. Clayton gets back into it, and he's out of bounds. A big break for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So Kenney going right at Clayton, who has been a pleasant surprise and has played very well. Here's Herman Hurd. Out to the 34, Robin Cole forcing about. Robin Cole coming off a big game, 10 tackles last week. Keith Willis, Mark Catano, and John Goodman up front. Willis has been Pittsburgh's best defensive lineman. Superb group of linebackers, Cole and Hinkle having sensational seasons. And an outstanding secondary, Rick Woods replacing Dwayne Woodruff, who's out with an elbow injury. Donnie Shell, one of the standouts over the years of the NFL. 3rd down and 5 for Kansas City. That's Page in motion. Kenney again goes sideline and incomplete, intended for Anthony Hancock. And immediately, Bill Kenney and the Chiefs hear it from the crowd.
A poorly thrown ball last week against the Houston Oilers in Houston. Kenney did not warm up well, and he didn't have a very good first half. He obviously is not throwing the ball well yet today, and if that's any significance, the Chiefs offense is in trouble in the first half.
Jim Arnold on the punt. He has had an up and down season. This is Lewis Lips, who comes in as the leading punt returner in the AFC, but that time good coverage. Returned for only 8 off the 39-yard punt. Jerry Blanton in on the stop as we look at the Pittsburgh offense. David Woodley replacing the injured Mark Malone, who was back home in Pittsburgh, did not make the trip because of that bruised toe. the all-Baylor backfield of Abercrombie and Pollard. And up front, that offensive line anchored by the All-Pro Mike Webster. First down for Pittsburgh from the 34. And it is Abercrombie. He picked up 5 on the play. Mike Bell and Bill Moss on the stop. And one of the key matchups today will be Moss going against the veteran Webster.
Hammond in place of Art Still, who, as we said, is out for the year.
And the linebackers, Scott Radisek is a native of Pittsburgh. Good group of linebackers, and the secondary also has played well, led by Deron Cherry, who is tied for the lead in the NFL with 5 interceptions. Second down and 5. And here's Pollard, short of the first down. Calvin Daniels, the outside linebacker, on the stop.
Marv, the Steelers are a team that like to trap the first 2 plays. Both traps meaning that the guard pulls from behind the line of scrimmage and traps a defensive man coming across the line of scrimmage. The Steelers like to establish their run, and David Woodley, calling the first 2 plays, opted for running plays. It's interesting that the Chiefs, on the other hand, threw the ball deep, and that in itself is good for them. I'll get into that a little later.
Our third and about a yard. Second back coming through, Abercrombie, and it will be close. Walter Abercrombie, who comes off a good one, a 78-yard performance in the win over Cleveland last week. Stopped by Mike Bell, and he did pick up the first down.
Abercrombie lined up deep, so he has good vision, just looking for a little crease where he can see an opening where he can try and get an extra yard or 2. Just barely picks up the first down.
First down just inside the 45-yard line. We are just underway on a balmy day in Kansas City. Temperature at 39 degrees. And here is Abercrombie. Short pickup. Hit by Gary Svaney, the inside linebacker. Steelers coming off that 10-9 win against the Browns last week at home on a 25-yard field goal by Gary Anderson with 9 seconds left. The Browns refer to Three River Stadium as the Temple of Doom. They are 0-16 in Pittsburgh. Second down, 7 from the 48. Abercrombie peels off. And Abercrombie could not hold on. Deron Cherry had the hand in front of him, and it threw him off.
Take a look at the protection. 99 is Bell, and Woodley doing a good job. Woodley has all kinds of time to throw. You see Abercrombie waiting for the ball with his zone coverage, and the man was out there just waiting for it in the defense, and it was a good play defensively.
Kansas City now showing 6 defensive backs. Greg Hill and Mark Robinson have come on for this third down and 7. From Hill and Robinson forcing the interception. Number 6 for Cherry. He goes 47 for the score.
That's the third interception returned against the Steelers for a touchdown this year, and they were blitzing right up the middle. A little pressure early on Woodley, and he makes a crucial mistake. Deron Cherry, the big play man for the Chiefs, comes up with a touchdown.
And here is Nick Lowry getting set to attempt the extra point. Bill Kenney will put it down. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have allowed the fewest first quarter points in the NFL, have given up only their second touchdown in the first quarter. They're off to a 7-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Steelers on the interception and return for the touchdown by Deron Cherry. A 47-yard return. As you see Nick Lowry teeing it up, there is Cherry, 5th season out of Rutgers. Man has stepped in to replace All-Pro Gary Barbaro, who had jumped to the USFL 2 years ago, and Cherry has emerged himself as an All-Pro. This is Todd Spencer on the return. And a hard-running return out near the 30-yard line. He goes 22 on the play. Jerry Blanton making the stop. Let's take another look at that interception by Cherry.
The Chiefs have not shown much safety blitzes, but you see all the defensive players except one now are up on the line of scrimmage. They're going to be blitzing here and here. Cherry is right here. Now watch him as Woodley sees the blitz coming. Cherry hits into the man and then drops off as Woodley tries to hit the tight end on a little slant and goes in for the score. A little bit of a surprise by the Kansas City Chiefs coming out in a safety blitz that early.
And David Woodley now first down from the 30. Frank Pollard out to the 35-yard line. Met by Ken Jolly, the outside linebacker, and the nose tackle, Bill Moss. Frank Pollard in his 6th season out of Baylor. He ran for 59 yards last week against Cleveland. Woodley playing it very conservative, threw only 17 passes last week.
Well, it was a bad day. It was a lot of rain, and I anticipate seeing him throw a little bit more today.
2nd down and 5 from Pittsburgh's 35. And again to the ground, but Abercrombie stopped by Moss.
David Woodley trying to get the running game going. It wasn't a very good first pass for him of the ball game, one that gets picked off and goes against you for 7 points, but maybe what the Chiefs needed to get in the ball game. The matchup we're going to be watching all day. 63, Bill Moss, and the center, Webster, 52, as the guard, Long, blocks down on Moss. Moss gets around it, splits the double team, and gets in on a piece of the tackle.
All right, Bob, and right here, the Chiefs going with the 2 extra defensive backs. This led to the interception. This time they hang back. Beautiful catch, Stallworth connecting. So it's Woodley hitting Stallworth on a 33-yard pass play. Albert Lewis making the tackle.
And this is just as bad a throw as the first one was. This is just as great a throw. He has good time to throw it. He is covered short and deep. Woodley throws it to the inside, the only place he can throw it, over the defensive back, and a great catch by John Stallworth. When they need a big play, Stallworth is the man they want to go to.
48th catch of the year by John Stallworth. That is tops of the AFC among wide receivers. First down at the 32. Abercrombie. Inside the 30, Bob Ham on the stop. Bob Ham filling in for the injured Art Still. Well, the Rams in front of the Giants by the count of 7-0 on a 1-yard run by Eric Dickerson, who has been very quiet in recent weeks.
Certainly has. You know, Marv, a quarterback, the effect that an interception, especially for a touchdown on a quarterback starting off the ballgame, it certainly doesn't help his confidence, but that last completion certainly has got to offset that some.
Woodley now facing a 2nd and 7. Off the delay, Abercrombie. Picked up 5, Ken Jolly and Gary Spaney on the stop. David Woodley faced Kansas City last year and was knocked out of the game with a concussion early in the first quarter. Then Mark Malone took over and threw 42 passes. Woodley playing last week, taking over from Malone, played for the first time since the 8th game of last season, with the exception of one other brief appearance. So he has been inactive the last 2 years. And that'll be a delay of game. Too much time.
The Chiefs, namely Lloyd Burris and Duron Cherry, were up there faking a safety blitz. As we take a look at today's officials.
False start, offense, right tackle.
And Woodley, seeing this, wondering if it was going to be another safety blitz, just took a little bit too much time, and he actually fooled his offensive line. Take a look here as Woodley sees the blitz. Now at the top of your screen, 62, Tunch Ilkin, expecting something. Woodley checking off. didn't get their signal straight.
Sets it back to a 3rd down and 8. Ouija Thompson is out to the left side. Woodley goes to middle. He has Stallworth. And another Pittsburgh 1st down. 15-yard hookup. Cherry on the tackle.
Good throw by Woodley. Double coverage. Right here, take a look. Here's Lloyd Burris and Duron Cherry, both safeties faking the blitz. Cherry's going to come out and double team right here. Coming from the left side of your screen is Stallworth. Now watch Cherry. He double teams on Stallworth coming in your picture right here. He sees it and curls back to the outside. Woodley stays with him. And it's a big play, a big 1st down.
1st down at the 17. Now Lips to the right. And it's Pollard. Picks up a couple. Albert Lewis, the left corner, coming up to make the stop on Frank Pollard. So it will be a 2nd and 8 for Pittsburgh. At the 15, the Chiefs leading it by the score of 7-0. 6:45 remaining in this 1st quarter.
You know, Marv, I was saying it's a tough way to start for a quarterback. Your first pass is picked off for a touchdown. Woodley has come back and thrown 3 good passes, very good passes, completed them all, and he's got this Steeler team now on the move.
And this is the 8th play of the drive. Rich Ehrenberg now in the backfield. But it goes to Pollard. Mike Bell, number 99, making the stop. Mike Bell came up with 2 sacks of Warren Moon last week against Houston.
Bell is playing very well. Has 20 pressures or hurries. That's where you don't actually get the quarterback, but you force him to move around and actually make him throw it somewhere, maybe a little bit earlier than he would like to. Bell is a key performer along with Moss now that Art Still is out for the season.
And all his sacks have come in recent weeks. 6 sacks the last 5 games for Mike Bell. 3rd down and 6. Woodley going end zone. Touchdown. John Stallworth on a post pattern. And Stallworth shaken up. He may have landed on the football.
They're looking at his ankle or knee. Maybe we can pick it up. Stallworth is to the left of your screen. He's going to go out. Lips on the outside will come underneath. Now Stallworth starts to the outside and then goes back inside. Now let's see if we can see where he is injured. A good throw right on the money. Fell on his knee. Nothing seemed to be twisted or anything. Maybe it's just a bruise. Yeah, I would have to guess it was a bruise on his knee because he landed right on that area.
13-yard touchdown pass play, and here's Anderson tying it at 7. So Gary Anderson hitting on the extra point, and the Steelers and Chiefs even at set. Arrowhead in Kansas City. Marv Albert with Bob Griese. A cool, crisp day here in the Midwest. We're tied at 7. Gary Anderson of Pittsburgh with the kickoff. And this is Garcia Lane, rookie from Ohio State. And flags are thrown. A 17-yard return by Garcia Lane. And let's see what referee Ben Greif will be calling out.
Illegal block on the receiving team, number 57.
That is linebacker Jerry Blanton. A look back at that touchdown pass from Woodley to Stallworth.
Here's Stallworth right here, Marv. Now he's going to come down. Cherry is right here. He's going to double either receiver to the inside. Now he's going to break to the deep side. Now Lips will come inside, and Duron Cherry will help double on him.
Back to the live action. 1st down, Kansas City from the 15. And Kenney goes sideline, intended for Carlos Carson.
All right, let's go back to Duron Cherry is going to double either receiver break into the inside. Now you see Lips comes underneath, and Stallworth went deep and started breaking to the outside and then came back to the inside. A well-devised play by the Steelers.
Bill Kenney is 0 for his first 3. Well, New Orleans jumping on Seattle. Seattle coming off the pounding of the Raiders last week. Kansas City 2nd and 10 from the 15. That's Carson in motion. And the swing for Hurd. And Herman Hurd gets across the 20, no more. The free safety, Eric Williams, on the stop. Herman Hurd ran for 66 yards last week against Houston. Mike Pruitt had a good one, 82 yards. The first time in 4 years that 2 Kansas City backs each went over 50 yards in one game, which tells us a bit about a weak running game for this ball club.
No question that the Chiefs need more balance between their great passing attack and their run.
Chiefs now 3rd down, 3. Kenney couldn't find anyone. Intended for Stephon Page. And the Chiefs hearing it very early from this crowd.
Kenney has only completed 1 pass, and when I said a little earlier, Marv, the first pass of the ball game he threw deep. It didn't throw it very well, but at least it let the Steelers defensive backs know that, listen, they're going to try and throw deep on us, and that may help him later in the ball game.
And here's Jim Arnold just getting it away. Lewis Lips from his 35. Again, the Chiefs do cover well. 43-yard punt and a 13-yard return by Lips. We'll be right back. NFL doubleheader. Those are the early games. Pittsburgh at Houston, Miami playing at Indianapolis, Buffalo at Cleveland. We suggest you check your local listings for the games and times in your area. At the second half of the twin bill, John Stallworth, who slightly sprained his knee while making that touchdown reception, is all right. And back to the series as you watch Abercrombie rip off the first down. Down to the Kansas City 35. Albert Lewis, the left corner, finally got the clamps on him. A 17-yard run.
And he's running to his right. Pittsburgh always in a right formation. As you check, now they're running left because you're looking at it from the end zone. But good blocking by Cunningham. Benny Cunningham, 89, getting a key block, outrunning Spaney. And the wide receivers getting good blocks on the cornerbacks for the Steelers. Very important if you're going to spring any big runs for the wide receivers to get some blocks downfield.
7 carries, 33 yards for Abercrombie. Now replaced by Ehrenberg in the backfield with Pollard. Play action. Woodley overthrows intended for Lips. Lewis, the left corner.
Lewis Lips is the man they like to go to on first down or second down in a running situation. A play action fake and hope to get some big plays to Lewis Lips. When they need a possession catch, they like to go to John Stallworth.
Swing around the scoreboard. Cincinnati leading Cleveland. A matchup of 2 first place or last place 4 and 5 teams.
You'll do that all day.
Tampa Bay over St. Louis. Minnesota leads Green Bay 7-0 in the first. And Philadelphia in front of Atlanta 7-0. Second quarter, 2nd down and 10 from the 35. Woodley is 3 for 6, 59 yards. Abercrombie picked up a half yard. Ken Jolly got a piece of Walter Abercrombie.
Pittsburgh's tight ends, Marv, they've only caught 1 pass all year, but Benny Cunningham, 89, is a great blocker. You see him right there going to the inside on Bell, and the guard comes outside, but Cunningham did his job. There's a huge hole inside. The running back opposite Dick Dart. Jump back out to the outside.
Would you explain that?
It's easy for you to say.
Pittsburgh 4 out of 5 and 3rd down conversions thus far. And Woodley over to hit Ehrenberg. A little juggling act, but Rich Ehrenberg hangs on, and the Steelers pick up another first down.
Ehrenberg is a key receiver for him. He takes the place of the tight end. As you see, Burris, 34, tries to blitz and then just leaves him all alone. Ehrenberg, usually with good hands. Yeah, I got it. Now I caught it. And Burris, 34, finally gets back and gets a piece of the tackle.
An advance of 15, a first down. At the 20-yard line, 2.5 remaining. First quarter. Pittsburgh and Kansas City are tied at 7. Here's Pollard. Change of direction, but ran into Scott Radisek. Scott Radisek, one of 3 Penn State graduates on the Kansas City roster, along with Mark Robinson and Todd Blackledge. You knew there was no way Scott was going to miss this game despite a bout with the flu earlier this week. Scott, as we mentioned earlier, a native of Pittsburgh. He missed second-round draft pick last year.
And he missed a couple days practice this week, and it really takes an effect on a player, especially when they practice defensively, if he's not in there taking part in the drill.
Second and 8, down at the Kansas City 18. With much time, goes end zone. Lewis Lips in the area. Woodley overthrowing.
David Woodley, I'm impressed. He's calling a good ball game aside from the first play of the game, the first blitz of the game, when he threw his first pass was picked off. Mixing his run and pass very well.
And the tight end, Benny Cunningham, is hurt. Cunningham missed the first 5 games with a knee problem. And as you mentioned earlier, he has only 1 reception this year. The Steelers in recent years have just not thrown in the direction of the tight ends. Last year, the tight ends combined for only 11 receptions on the season.
The only other tight end on the roster is number 86, Gothard, who is a free agent rookie this year, so they're not real deep in that position.
Third down and 8. Woodley 4 for 8, 74 yards. Again, he had the time, and it is incomplete. Lips not able to hold on. Covered by Greg Hill, the extra defensive back. So the field goal unit comes on. Gary Anderson, who has not had a good season. This after leading the AFC in scoring the last 2 years. He is 12 for 20 on the year. And this will be a 35-yard attempt. The backup quarterback, Scott Campbell, puts it down. And Anderson's kick is good. So Pittsburgh takes a 10-7 lead on Kansas City. Back in Kansas City, a minute 13 left in this first quarter. And on a 35-yard field goal by this man, Gary Anderson, in his 4th season out of Syracuse, Pittsburgh has taken a 10-7 lead. Garcia Lane and Jeff Smith await the kick. And Lane takes out to the 15. He tried to hurdle a tackler as he's brought down across the 20-yard line. So once again, Kansas City, making only cameo appearances to this point on offense, will start up. And the ball will start at the 23. And that tells the story.
One of the problems the Chiefs have had this year is in their offensive line with some injuries to left tackle Matt Herkenhoff and Brad Buddy just put on injury reserve this week. Left side of the line is very young.
First down for Ben Kenney from the 23. And he lost a couple. Keith Willis on the stop. Mike Pruitt, who was signed as a free agent 3 weeks ago after he was cut by Buffalo. Mike himself said, gee, if I can't make Buffalo as a running back, what is going on? But he has played well, particularly last week in his second game as a Kansas City Chief.
Well, they're very happy to have him. Tried to trade for him a couple of years ago, and Cleveland wanted a little bit too much.
Second down 12. This is Hurd. He broke a tackle. And a hard jarring run by Herman Hurd, second-year man out of Southern Colorado. Brian Hinkle and Donnie Shell combined on the stop.
57 is Merriweather, one of their fine linebackers, as Hurd jumps to the outside. Just tough play, tough running. The Steelers, very tough to run against, and as I said earlier, #1 in the league against the pass.
Third down 5. Hurd tried to cut it. close to the marker, but short of the first down. Mike Merriweather able to string it out. That's the end of one here in Kansas City. Pittsburgh leading it by 3. This tight end Benny Cunningham hurt his knee. He's out the rest of the game, so the Steelers are down to one tight end in Preston Gothard.
And I don't think Preston Gothard is that great a receiver, so I don't think they're going to be throwing any tight ends. He's not a great receiving tight end, so they'll continue with the blocking aspect of their tight end situation, but Gothard obviously is not as good a blocker as Benny Cunningham.
In fact, they have yet to throw to Gothard this season. So the Kansas City Chiefs short of the first down, and here's Jim Arnold. Lewis Lips out across the 40-yard line. A 39-yard punt and a 12-yard return. Jerry Blanton on the tackle. We'll be back in a moment. In Kansas City, the second quarter underway. Pittsburgh with a 3-point lead over KC by the count of 10-7. Here's Frank Pollard out to the 45. Dave Lindstrom on the stop.
First quarter stats, Marv, excuse me, not much for Kansas City offensively. Their only score was on that interception by Deron Cherry for a touchdown, and Pittsburgh running and passing very well.
Chiefs fortunate they're down by only 3. 2nd and 7 for the Steelers. Griese Thompson, the huge wide receiver, is out to the right side. He goes 6'6", 211 pounds. And it's Abercrombie. Not much there. Scott Radisek not fooled. He and Ken Jolly combined on the stop.
Gary Spaney comes up limping on the play as the third down substitutions come in for the Kansas City Chiefs. Spaney is going to be helped off the field, it looks like.
Gary Spaney, one of the Chiefs' leaders on defense, their second leading tackler. It's been a tough first half physically.
Well, the Chiefs really need Gary Spaney. He is their leader on defense, as you said, Marv. You look around and see the leaders on these two ball clubs, the Pittsburgh Steelers with a lot of veterans, and the Chiefs, they don't really have a lot of veteran ball players or older ball players that can really control the locker room or control the rest of the players. Bill Kenney does it pretty well on offense, and Spaney is the man on defense.
Pittsburgh now going with Stallworth and Sweeney lined up on the left side and Thompson to the right, so Lips sitting down. Intended for Stallworth, and Greg Hill got a hand on it and slapped it away.
It's a good throw by Woodley. It was right on target, but as we take another look, good protection coming right at you now. Hill, number 23, comes back from the inside, and the ball is already bobbled by the time he gets there. And Stallworth may have heard some footsteps coming, but you can't catch them all.
First punt of the day for the rookie from Wake Forest, Harry Newsom. Back from his 45-yard line and just did get it off. Garcia Lane on the return. Excellent coverage by the Steelers. Ball was jarred loose. Steelers claim that they recovered. And let's see what the call is. Yes, they did. Kansas City hoping that the play had been blown dead. A 46-yard punt. The short return as Lane took it 5 yards and coughed it up.
Excellent coverage. The special teams coach for the Steelers is that man right there, Chuck Noll. He delighted in coaching the special teams yesterday at practice. He was out here, and all the other coaches were standing around saying this is his day, his opportunity to teach, and he's got to be pretty pleased with the punt coverage and the subsequent fumble recovery on that play. The Chiefs giving it away the last 5 ball games.
And they give it away to the Steelers, 1st and 10, down at the Kansas City 14-yard line. Pollard and Ehrenberg are the running backs. That's Abercrombie. Jerry Blanton on the stop. So a pickup of 3. It'll be a 2nd and 7. at the 11.
Abercrombie, Marv, gives the Steelers an extra dimension. They've got big play receivers in Lips and Stallworth, but somebody coming out of the backfield with explosiveness, he seems to play better when he's on a roll. When he's in a slump, sometimes he doesn't get up for the games, but if he's on a roll, he's tough to stop.
And we said Benny Cunningham would be out for the game. That was the information earlier, but he is in there right now. Again, it's Abercrombie. So Cunningham, despite the knee problem, is back in. So that was erroneous information. There he is.
Well, that's good news for the Steelers because he's going out now because of a third down situation. He's always out on third down, and Ehrenberg replaces him. But one of the reasons the Pittsburgh tight ends don't catch a lot of passes is because they're never in there on long yardage situations.
Now Thompson is to the left, and Lips to the right. It's a third down and 3. And Woodley in trouble. The Chiefs swarming on David Woodley, led by the strong safety, Lloyd Burris.
It seems apparent that the Chiefs, in trying to put pressure not only with Bill Moss, but also Lloyd Burris, who is a safety, they're going to try and safety blitz him a little bit. Good coordination between the rush and the coverage on that play.
And here's Gary Anderson attempting a 31-yard field goal earlier. He hit from 35. And Anderson does it again. So he's 2 for 2 on the day, and the Steelers increase the lead. 13 minutes gone by, second quarter. In Kansas City, 36 degrees. Light drizzle is falling. Pittsburgh Steelers have just taken a 13-7 lead on the Kansas City Chiefs. The kickoff by Anderson. And here's Jeff Smith, the rookie from Nebraska. Excellent return as he put the speed on. A 29-yard return by Smith. Todd Spencer on the tackle. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Kansas City Chiefs and the National Football League is prohibited.
That graphic right there tells you what the Chiefs have done in their first 3 possessions. 3 plays and out each time.
It's been a busy first half for the punter, Jim Arnold. Kansas City first down at the 36. And Kenney to throw. Throw it close to the first down. Merriweather and Little combining on the stop.
You said, Marv, it's a light drizzle, and in talking with some of the Steelers coaches before the ball game, they were just praying for rain. They said, come on and rain. Their attack is more balanced. The Chiefs, of course, rely more heavily on the pass.
It is marked just short of a first down. Second, about a half yard from across the 45. All right. That's Keith Willis, number 93, entering the Kansas City backfield.
Illegally, you might add.
Yes.
Defense, encroachment, made contact, 93. 5 yards. First down.
I think Keith Willis may see the halfback go in motion from the left side of your screen there as Hurd goes in motion. The center, Catano, also moved on the play, but sometimes the defensive linemen start looking at the running backs and not the football, and will be drawn offside.
And the Chiefs first down from midfield. That's Carson in motion, 88. And throw it on the draw to the 45. David Little with the stop. We're set for an update, so let's go to Bob Costas at NFL 85. Studio audience for NFL 85. I'm told the Pee Wee Herman crowd from Saturday Night Live next week will be staying over. A lot of similarities there. Intended for Stephon Page. This after Kansas City picked up its first down of the day.
Page, normally a very reliable receiver, is playing in place of Marshall, who is injured. Kenney looks to his left the entire time. Ball is thrown inside of Hinkle, who dives for it, and Page obviously just drops the football. Page, normally very reliable, comes up with a lot of big plays on third down.
This is the first time that Kansas City has advanced to Pittsburgh territory. Third down and 5 at the Pittsburgh 45. Beautiful combination with Jeff Smith. What moves by Smith to break tackles.
Smith, a rookie, is playing more and more in passing situations for obvious reasons because he's a fine receiver coming out of the backfield. Didn't catch a lot of passes at Nebraska last year, but has been a big addition on special teams and more so in catching the football for the Chiefs this year.
And that is his first touchdown in the NFL, only a 7th catch of the season. And Nick Lowry looking to put the Chiefs on top, and does. 45-yard touchdown pass play, Kansas City by 1. On 4 plays, 64 yards, 2 minutes and 8 seconds, with the 45-yard touchdown pass from Kenney to the rookie from Nebraska, 10th round draft pick Jeff Smith. And a kickoff by Lowry. And this is Todd Spencer. So Spencer picks his way across the 25. Spencer in his second season out of USC, signed as a free agent last year. He's the son of one-time heavyweight boxer Thad Spencer.
Let's go back and take a look at that touchdown, Marv. The 2 deep safeties for the Steelers are here. Tight man-to-man coverage right here. Now, Merriweather is here. It's a little option coming out of the backfield. He breaks to the inside and away from Merriweather. Watch the tight man-to-man coverage.
That's the longest reception for a Chief this year, the 45-yard touchdown caught by Jeff Smith. First out to the 26. Here's Lewis Lips. Lips across the 30. Bill Moss, the nose tackle, in on the tackle.
Here we'll take another look at it as Merriweather, trying to cover him man-to-man, breaks back to the inside. Now, once he beats Merriweather right there, he's got a lot of running room because everybody else is covering somebody man-to-man. The 2 deep safeties are supposed to help out on the tackle, but great effort by Smith gets him into the end zone.
And there is Jeff Smith, who has given the Chiefs a 14-13 lead on the Steelers. 2nd down and 4 for Pittsburgh. 8.5 left, first half. Abercrombie, the second back, coming through as this Kansas City defense has toughened. Bell and Radisek combined on the stop.
Jeff Smith has not only given them a lead, but he's given the entire team a lift. Offensively, the first time they have scored today, in the first series in which they made any first downs, they took it in to score, and the defense now is playing like they've been fired up.
3rd down and 5. And Kansas City with their 6 defensive backs, Hill and Robinson on the field now. Woodley with time, looking for Stallworth. Albert Lewis got a hand on it.
Well, there's no secret what they were going to do then. They wanted to get the ball to Stallworth, and the Chiefs were double covering. Right here is Stallworth, and these 2 men right here are going to double him as he goes straight down the field. Now, Woodley sees the coverage, but tries to throw the ball deep down the field and over the inside player's head as he tried to middle dip and go. You saw Stallworth kind of nudge him a little bit.
And the punt by Harry Newsom, played by Garcia Lane. And a short return by Lane, a 48-yard punt.
Tackled by Todd Spencer.
So the Kansas City Chiefs back to the offense. And here is Bill Kenney, who originally was a 12th round draft pick of the Miami Dolphins. He was in camp when you were quarterbacking the Dolphins. What do you remember about him?
He was a third arm in camp, and the thing that he's remembered most for is throwing a pass against the defense when Bill Ornsparger, the defensive coordinator, was about 20 yards downfield, hit him right in the head.
That's what they remember Bill Kenney for in the Dolphin camp. First down for the 29. Kenney on the screen for Hurd. A flag is down. Herman Hurd run out by David Little.
Tackled by David Little.
And Ben Bright says a hold against Kansas City. Check of the scoreboard. Rams now over the Giants 10-0 in the second quarter at Giant Stadium. Tampa Bay over St. Louis. Indianapolis leading New England. Philadelphia now 14-0 over Atlanta. All the scores and highlights coming up on NFL 85. They'll also have a close-up, a feature piece on Joe Don Looney, a man who patterned his lifestyle after that of Bob Griese.
That's right.
First and 20 from the 19. Kenney again gets the time and tipped away, intended for Carlos Carson, but the free safety Eric Williams got a piece of it.
Great play by Eric Williams, who has really come into his own as a safety for the Steelers. A big play man back there. He has 3 interceptions this year. You see him 21 in the middle, the bottom of your screen. He's going to back straight up. You see Kenney looking to your right. Now when he throws that way, Williams, who saw Kenney looking that way, had just enough jump to get over there and knock it away. Kenney could have done better by looking him off, looking the other way, and then coming back and throwing in that hole.
Eric Williams has great hands. In fact, at one point they were thinking of making him a receiver. Second down and 20. Herman Hurd with nowhere to go. And we're set for another update. Let's go to Bob Costas and NFL 85. See the clock running down to 6.5 left first half here in Kansas City. And the Chiefs lead the Steelers 14-13. Ethan Horton and Jeff Smith now in the Kansas City backfield. Kenney out of the shotgun. You saw movement. Flags thrown. And Kenney overthrows. Intended for Anthony Hancock. Donnie Shell getting a piece of it.
Bill Kenney knew he had a free play. Probably took a little bit more of a chance than he normally would because he knew he...
Defense number 99 is offside. 5 yards. Third down.
He knew he had a flag, and even if it was incomplete or intercepted, he would get the play over.
And 99 is the rookie from Wisconsin, first-round draft pick Darrell Sims. Right here, let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
You're watching Channel 11, WPXI-TV, Pittsburgh.
Marv Albert, Bob Griese from Arrowhead in Kansas City. 6:15 left, first half. And the Chiefs lead the Steelers 14-13. It's a third down and 13 from the 26. And Kenney lofts one. Penalty marker down as Stephon Page was held back by the corner, Harvey Clayton. Oh, let's see. They're calling it the other way. It may be called on Page. Yes, it is.
Let's take a look at this. I don't think the ball is... It looked like Clayton sticks his arm out across his chest. The ball is so far inside, it's not able to be caught anyway. I saw, if anything, I thought that the foul should have been on Clayton for sticking his arm across his chest.
So the punting unit has come on, and here is Jim Arnold back at his 11th. Lewis Lips awaiting the punt. Good hang time, and it sends Lips back. Lewis Lips with Arnold to beat, and does. 71-yard punt return by Lewis Lips.
And a great block coming up right here. I didn't see who that was, but now Lips is off to the races. There's nobody going to catch him, even Arnold. Number 23, Chris Brown, threw the key block that allowed Lips to get into the end zone.
Louis Lips with his second touchdown punt return of the year. Earlier this season, he did it with a 62-yard jaunt. Penalty flag thrown on the extra point by Gary Anderson. Louis Lips.
No penalty. He was blocked into the kicker.
All right, there's the explanation. Louis Lips going 71 yards. And the critical block, you'll see number 23, second-year man from Notre Dame, Chris Brown.
They wanted to get the ball into, as you see the block right there, into Lips' hands as often as possible. Lips doing his thing straight up the field with great speed. And now it's all over with. The thing you want to do on coverage as far as the Chiefs are concerned is spread out and get down there and don't give them any gaps or areas to run in. And Lips found one, and it was all over.
So it's been a high-power first half. We have the 47-yard interception returned by Cherry. Then Woodley to Stallworth to tie it at 7. A couple of field goals by Anderson. Then Kenney to Jeff Smith, 45-yard touchdown pass play. And now Louis Lips rips one for 71 yards, and we still have 5:54 left, first half.
And I'm sure Coach John Makovic of the Chiefs is saying, hey, we have enough trouble stopping other teams' offenses and scoring ourselves without giving them a special team score on a punt return.
For Kansas City, Garcia Lane and Jeff Smith.
And here's the kickoff by Anderson. And Garcia Lane out to the 10. He had a hole, but was tripped up reaching out at the 28-yard line. Dave Edwards
Garcia Lane on the return.
able to stop Lane.
Tackled by Chris Brown.
Well, next Saturday, join NBC Sports. Continuing coverage of the Professional Bowlers Association Fall Tour. It's the third stop on the tour, taking us to Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, Indiana, for the $135,000 True Value Open. Join J. Randolph and Hall of Famer Earl Anthony as they bring you all the action right here on NBC. First down for the Chiefs from their 29. Here's Mike Pruitt galloping across the 35.
Mike Pruitt, ball carrier.
The nose tackle, Mark Catano, on the stop. When Mike Pruitt played his first NFL game with the Cleveland Browns, that was back in 1976, his running mate now in the Kansas City backfield, Herman Hurd, was 14 years old. Bob at the time, I should point out, was an aging veteran. Second and 3. That's Page in motion. And here's Pruitt. And not able to penetrate that wall to pick up the first down.
And when Pruitt was with the Cleveland Browns playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in those great AFC Central battles twice a year, he wasn't really very successful, averaging less than 50 yards rushing a game and never having scored a touchdown against them. But he's meant a lot to this ball club, both on the field, gaining 82 yards last week, and off the field by being a veteran and saying, hey, listen, your situation here isn't as bad as you think it is.
It's a 3rd and 1. Now backfield of King and Pruitt. Bruce King, the rookie from Purdue. Pruitt gets the call. And let's see, the Steelers seem to feel the ball was jarred loose. Pruitt looks to be short of the first down.
See David Little, number 50, in there helping the officials.
And yes, apparently the ball was fumbled. And again, Pruitt was able to recover. And so the 4th down play, and Arnold who's had a very busy first half, gets off a good one. Lewis Lips. This time stopped across the 20. 49-yard punt and an 8-yard return. And the ball spotted at the 21-yard line. Bruce King in on the stop of Lips. I don't know, after going 71 yards and a quick series of Lewis is ready to go the length of the field again that quickly.
Pittsburgh offense has been a while since they've been out on the field. I wouldn't be surprised if Lips were on the sideline now just getting a rest.
Up, he's going to hang in.
Stay in there.
And he's split wide to the right. First down from the 21. 3:50 to go, first half. And Pittsburgh leading 20-14. Woodley again with good protection and finds Lips. And the play was whistled dead. It will not be a fumble. Although Albert Lewis and Kevin Ross do not agree.
The calls have seemingly been going against the fans here in Kansas City. And the last 5 weeks, they've lost all 5 games. They want some good news, as we see right here. It's hard to tell from that angle, but definitely the ball was knocked out. Whether or not he had control of it, you couldn't see. Let's take another look. As Woodley has all kinds of time. It looked to me like from that angle he had possession, but well, the official had a better angle.
Calling it incomplete pass. Here's Abercrombie. Out to the 28. Scott Radisek on the stop. Let's swing around the scoreboard and a complete wrap-up coming up at halftime on NFL 85. Cleveland and Cincinnati now tied at 7. Kozar throwing a 27-yard touchdown. You saw the Rams and Giants. Here's Chicago leading Detroit. Nothing handled, we're told, by the refrigerator to this point. Tampa Bay leading St. Louis. How do you figure the St. Louis Cardinals coming off the win Monday night against Dallas? Minnesota leads Green Bay. Buffalo over Houston in the second quarter. And Philadelphia maintaining that 14-0 lead. Third down play here for Woodley. And he goes deep sideline for Lips. Got it for Ouija Thompson. And Ouija Thompson with a beautiful catch. The ball spotted just outside the 30.
Thompson, with that great height of his, jumps into the air and makes a big reception, gets the Steelers out of their own territory. Now watch Ouija Thompson. He's got all the height on Ross anyway. Goes up and makes the catch. Ross was beaten last year in the first game between these two teams in his first game in the NFL. Wanted to play today, had a sore shoulder, but Thompson makes the play on that one.
So for Ouija Thompson, his longest reception of the season, a 42-yard pass play, and a first down now for Pittsburgh. Abercrombie try to change direction. Mike Bell and Ken Jolly were right there. Ouija Thompson had come into today with only 1 catch his last 4 games. 2-minute warning. And we'll be back in just a moment. Crisp day in Kansas City. Pittsburgh leading Kansas City 20-14. And it's been all Steelers in this first half. Pittsburgh 2nd and 8 at the Kansas City 28. That is Stallworth in motion. And again Woodley with the time. And Stallworth. They say he is down inside the 5. Make that
Louis Lips.
Louis Lips down inside the 5-yard line.
Louis Lips making the reception. Lips is right here. Is going to come in motion and go inside and go deep down the middle. Now this man right here, Cherry's going to be in the middle just to make the play on the ball. As you see Lips come inside of Stallworth. They're in a deep zone. Good coverage. It's just that Lips makes the play inside of Cherry.
And it's a 24-yard pass play. First and goal from the 4. Frank Pollard. Bill Moss, the nose tackle, on the stop.
Tackled by Albert Lewis.
So David Woodley, who started at quarterback last week for the first time in over a year, subbing for the injured Mark Malone, doing a nice job thus far in this first half. Back in Kansas City, it will be a 2nd and goal down at the 2. Pittsburgh leading Kansas City by the score of 20-14. The go-ahead, that 71-yard punt return by Lewis Lips. David Woodley over to chat with Chuck Noll. This is the 7th play of the drive. Abercrombie and Ehrenberg are the running backs. That is Comfort in motion. Abercrombie. The indication from the, yes, there it is now. The official indication, touchdown, Bird.
Another quick trap up the middle, as you see Woodley 73 to the left of the center, right there pulling. And Abercrombie, not much. There's not a very big crack down there on the goal line because there's so many bodies in there so tightly. But all you need is a little crack and in for the score.
So Abercrombie, touchdown of the season, and it's 5 in the last 6 games as Gary Anderson puts the extra point on the board. And with 55 seconds remaining in this first half, the Steelers now lead the Chiefs by the 7-14.
It's a big drive for the Steelers. John Makovic on the sideline. I think the turning point of the first half was that punt return for the touchdown when the Chiefs had gone ahead. And then they get the punt return run back, and that put a stopper on the Kansas City Chiefs.
And a big play in this series. David Woodley able to connect with Lewis Lips.
Here it is right here, as you see Ehrenberg, 24, going out to the left. But the big play right here was over the middle. Cherry just not getting his hand on the ball. There should have been a linebacker back there helping him, but that's one of those situations where an all-pro like Cherry needs to come in and knock the ball down at least.
Lewis Lips, last year's Offensive Rookie of the Year, a banner rookie season, and having a splendid second year. Most points Pittsburgh has scored in a half in this 1985 season. Smith and Lane await the kickoff. Here's Garcia Lane out to the 10, 20. Across the 30-yard line. Lane, a free agent pickup, a rookie from Ohio State. And Kansas City now with 49 seconds left in the first half will start from their 30.
You look at Dave Edwards, 42, the rookie on the special teams, getting down there trying to make something happen, knocks over one defender and then gets in and makes the first hit. That's the type of special team play that Chuck Noll loves to see.
Kenney out of the shotgun. Anthony Hancock, who caught 3 last week after a very quiet spell, with a 17-yard pickup. So the first down for Kansas City. 41 seconds left in this first half. And the Chiefs call for time.
Not very good stats for Bill Kenney in the first half, but last week, as I mentioned a little earlier, against the Oilers, had a poor first half, but came out the second half and got hot. That's the thing about a pass-oriented offense. No matter how many points you're behind, you always have that ability to come back as long as you've got some time on the clock.
Bob, Kansas City with a record of 3-6, and head coach John Makovic says there aren't any more must games for the Chiefs. He says they have already played their must games. And obviously they've lost them all.
Well, they've lost 5 in a row, and they've had a very tough schedule. 6 of their first 8 games were against playoff teams from last year. They have 10 on their entire schedule, but Makovic is trying to convince his players that even though they have 6 losses at this point, that they still have a shot at a wild card for the playoffs if they can get something going.
First down from the 47. 41 seconds left in the half. Nice catch by Ethan Horton, the rookie from North Carolina. Robin Cole on the stop.
The flag back around where it's normally holding in the backfield.
Offense, number 53.
Ben Greif checking the number. It's the veteran center, Bob Rush. There he is. He's been playing with a bad back in his 8th year out of Memphis State, and he's called on the hold. So both Kansas City and Pittsburgh now have been hit with 3 penalties apiece. This sets it back to a 2nd down and 20 at the 37.
Rush is the only veteran left in that offensive line. He has 8 years. The other ones, Lutz, a 3rd-year player, and a rookie, and 2 2nd-year players. So injuries have really taken its toll that offensive line.
Both Kirkenhoff and Buddy out of action. So Alt and Auer, a couple of young players starting on the left side. And the intended receiver, Jeff Smith, fell down.
For Jeff Smith.
Brian Hinkle did deflect it. And we are down to 28 seconds remaining in this first half.
This is not the way the Kansas City Chiefs wanted to go into halftime. It wasn't too long ago. They had a 1-point lead, 14-13, but the big punt return by Lips and then the good drive by the Steelers have them up going into halftime.
It has been a wild first half. The 47-yard interception for a touchdown by Deron Cherry. Then Lips goes 71 yards on a punt return. 2nd down and 20. Flag thrown once again. And Kenney incomplete, intended for Carlos Carson. And the offside is called on the Steelers.
78 defense offside. 5 yards, 2nd down.
That's the nose tackle, Mark Catano.
Catano is filling in for Dunn, Gary Dunn, who has been injured. The Steelers have had some problems in the defensive line. Dunn is out. Keith Gary on injured reserve. Edmund Nelson has had a problem with a calf. So the Steelers have been injured, but nothing serious that they won't get these players back in the next few weeks.
Dunn is dressed and available. He is bothered by an injured ankle. 2nd, 15. And it is picked off by Brian Hinkle. Let's see, do they say that he held on?
No, I think it bounced, Marv.
It did bounce.
Yeah. There's not much downfield for Kenney to look at. There are 8 Steelers about 15 to 25 yards downfield, and there's not much to throw into. As we take a look at the end of the play, 84 is Holston. Just bad hands. Linebackers, if they had better hands, they'd be playing tight end. But all that tape and all that stuff, well, they can't catch the football.
That's what the linebackers say.
Yeah.
All that tape. 3rd down, 15. Down to 15 seconds left in this first half. And Kenney goes the middle. And able to connect with Jeff Smith. Robin Cole, the inside linebacker, on the stop, but time running down. Now the clock is stopped with 3 seconds left. And Kansas City has called for time.
Looks like Bill Kenney had a problem getting the timeout called, and now they're talking about it down there, but that was the right thing to do. The Steelers are so deep in the secondary that you have to hit someone underneath and hope they break a tackle and can run for some yardage.
Kansas City Chiefs record of 3-6. They've lost 5 in a row. That's their worst losing streak since back in 1979. This is a club that opened up at 3-1. Their last win back on September 29th. They beat Seattle 28-7. Wins over Seattle, the Raiders, and New Orleans. And there were bright hopes here in Kansas City, but it's gone the other way.
And you ask, what has happened? And there really is no strong answers. Of course, the offensive line has had some problems. The defense has played well most of the year. John Malkovich was saying yesterday that They went out to San Diego, and he told the team this was a must-win. We must win this ball game. And he said, right flat out, we got to win it. And they just played the poorest game of the entire season.
Well, time for one fling here from Bill Kenney. Everybody downfield, and Kenney just airs it out. Little juggle act by Donnie Shell. So Donnie Shell able to pick it off. And that is his third interception of the season, number 46 in his career. That's the most of any active player in the NFL, and that's the way this first half comes to a conclusion, with Pittsburgh on top of Kansas City 27-14. And as we discussed earlier, the play that turned it was the punt return by Louis Lips. Here it is, as Arnold fields the low snap, and you'll see Lips go 71 yards.
This is what makes the game so exciting for the Steelers. They have a big play man at wide receiver in Lips, and now they put him at a punt returner, and every time the ball is punted or kicked off, they have somebody back there that can make a big play for you, and this play turned around the momentum in the first half.
And the score at halftime, Pittsburgh 27, Kansas. Matches your socks and earmuffs that you refuse to wear on camera.
Thanks a lot.
We are at halftime, and
Florida.
Pittsburgh leading Kansas City by the score of 27-14. And you look at the stats for the quarterbacks. Woodley's had a good one, 7 for 15. A struggle for Bill Kenney at 5 for 15. However, Kansas City got off that 47-yard interception return by the free safety, Deron Cherry. And here it is. This put the Chiefs up 7-zip.
And if something was going to turn the game in Kansas City's favor, this would have been it. The defense scoring and Cherry taking things into his own hands, putting the Chiefs up 7-0 right off the bat.
Now Pittsburgh able to come back. David Woodley to John Stallworth.
Stallworth is going to go inside and then loop back to the outside. Cherry doubles on 83 Lips, and the quarterback Woodley reads it very well and makes the completion for the touchdown.
And beautiful moves by running back Jeff Smith. Watch him break tackles as Bill Kenney connects with Smith.
Right in the middle of your screen, he catches the ball, and now he's going to break some tackles and puts the Chiefs ahead 14-13 as Smith, twisting and turning, gets into the end zone.
And a big play. Louis Lips, as we take a look at it from a different angle, goes 71 yards on the punt return.
And the key block, Chris Brown, threw it, springing him for the first 10 yards. And then after that, Louis Lips says, turn me loose, I can handle it from here. And he puts the Steelers back in front.
Pittsburgh leading at 20-14, then a 2-yard touchdown run by Abercrombie, capping off a Pittsburgh drive to make it 27-14, and that is the story as we head to the third quarter here in Kansas City. It'll be Nick Lowry kicking off to the combination of Rich Ehrenberg and Todd Spencer. And here is Spencer out to the 15. So Todd Spencer on the return. He goes 6 feet, 217 pounds, and taken down by another big man, the tight end Walt Arnold. Pittsburgh Steelers come in with a record of 4-5 and a four-way tie for first in the AFC Central. They come off that win over Cleveland last week at home on the last-second field goal by Gary Anderson. Steelers 0-4 on the road this season, and 4 of their last 7 are away from Three River Stadium.
They're certainly correcting that here today.
First down at the 29. Brent Pollard stopped. That front three led by Bob Ham. All over Pollard.
Woodley certainly with a good first half. He's been criticized some for throwing some interceptions a little bit earlier in the season. This is the first time really he's had an opportunity in good weather to practice all week and to play. 7 of 15, 146 yards and a touchdown, but he's calling the right plays at the right time, and he's doing very well.
David Woodley, a man who took the Miami Dolphins to the Super Bowl, Spent 4 years with Miami. Here's Pollard going to the outside. He was led by the left guard, Craig Woodley. Cherry on the stop. Cherry able to cut him off. As we look at the halftime statistics,
the first thing you might notice is at the bottom of the screen, the time of possession is heavily in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Chiefs having too many 3 plays and outs on offense. Only 3 first down for the Kansas City Chiefs, and the turnovers 2-1, but the statistics heavily in favor of the Steelers, as they should be.
And Pittsburgh 3rd down and 7 from their 32. Intended for Calvin Sweeney. And Cherry felt he should have had it.
There's no question about that. It is a cold day and it is damp out there, but Duran most of the time would catch that ball. Poor throw by Woodley, and an opportunity for the Chiefs to turn it around and get some momentum going in their favor. You take a look from the end zone, the pass rush really non-existent. Woodley has all the time he wants, just didn't get the ball out as far as he wanted to. It's an underthrow, and that ball should have been intercepted.
And the rookie from Wake Forest, Harry Newsom, just did get it by a flying Duran Cherry. Look out. As Garcia Lane was walloped, and a clean hit, no problem, off the 45-yard punt.
If you've got your mind.
Grizzly day in Kansas City, Missouri. Marv Albert with Bob Griese. Pittsburgh leading Kansas City 27-14 early in the 3rd quarter. And the Chiefs first down from their 24. Look out. Did Willis get back? He did. No flag. And now the flag as Herman Hurd carries. So Keith Willis jumping. Merriweather and Cole combined on the stop. And let's see which way they'll call it.
Defense, offside 93, 5-yard, first down.
It is Willis in his 4th season out of Northeastern. A guy who has returned to his 1983 form when he came up with 14 sacks. Last year hit by injuries and having a solid season here in 85.
When he first came up, Marv, they normally just use him against the pass, but now he's really improved his run defense, and he's in there full time.
1st and 5, and Pruitt stacked up. He tried to make the turn. Harvey Clayton came over from his cornerback slot.
It's really difficult to run against these Steelers. Their concept of defense is very sound. They've changed a little bit. They're not as aggressive as they have been in the past, but they're still right up there at number 3 in the entire NFL in defense among the leaders.
Pruitt having a rough time. 6 carries, 12 yards. That's been it. 2nd and 5. That's Carson in motion. Kenney goes the other side. Hurd out of the backfield for the first down. Ryan Hinkle, the outside linebacker, making the stop on Herman Hurd.
One of the strengths of this linebacker core is Brian Hinkle, 53. He's dropping straight back into his zone. Now, you see Hurd, 44, curls in front of him. Now it's the job of the back to get up, lower your head, and get some yardage for that first down. It was a good job by Herman Hurd.
Last year, Pittsburgh blitzed crazy. This year, going with a different philosophy.
Well, mainly because of their corners. They have to help their corners. They don't want to leave them out there on an island by themselves.
First down at the 41. Kenney with the deep drop, and then fires deep. Too far for Anthony Hancock.
It's a good play, though. You have a good chance. He's got speed on the outside, and the weakness of the Pittsburgh defense, as we just mentioned, are their corners. So why not throw the ball down 7-8 times a ball game? Maybe one of these times you're going to hit one.
Henry Marshall is out of the Kansas City lineup, injured in the game last week against Houston. And now Stephon Page, who the Chiefs hope will return, is sidelined with a hip flexor. Later word on Gary Spaney, fourth man of the Chief defensive setup, hamstring pull. He is out the rest of the way. Through the hands of the tight end, Walt Arnold. And Kenney took a big hit.
Bill Kenney has taken a lot of big hits this year, Marv. He holds the ball a little bit longer, and his offensive line, being young and some of the injuries we've talked about today, really don't give him as much time as he needs sometime, and he has taken some hits. Of course, most of the time you don't see it because we all follow the ball, but he gets up off the ground a lot of times after he throws.
He was pounded by the combination of the nose tackle, Mark Catano, and the right defensive end, John Goodman. Third down and 10. Chiefs only 1 for 7. Third down situation. Kenney going sideline, floating it for the newest KC Chief, Mike Holston, a pickup earlier this week. Signed as a free agent after he was dropped earlier in the season by Houston. And again, the Chief drive is stopped. And a dangerous situation with the explosive Lewis Lips awaiting upon high snap, played by Arnold and deflected.
Poor kick off the side of his foot, a bad snap, and I think he was rushing it. Just very poor kick.
I don't know. Did Winston get a piece of it? We'll have to get another look. Only a 13-yard punt for Jim Arnold. And Dirk Winston did not get a piece of it. This is just a bad punt.
Watch the back of the ball as he drops it. The back of the ball goes down right there. Very poor drop. You want to drop it parallel to the ground, so either tip is facing the ground.
13-yard punt. Pittsburgh takes over first down at the 46. Woodley throwing. Nice catch. John Stallworth has a first down. Kevin Ross, the right corner, on the coverage.
Marv, there are some things that teams do out of repetition, and this is certainly one. It's a trap pass where the Steelers fake the run with the guard pulling. In this area of the field, they love to do it. They have a lot of different routes off of it, but one of them is a completion on an out to Stallworth and a good play on first down.
And that's the 4th catch of the day for Stallworth. First down at the Chief 40-yard line. Abercrombie inside the 35. Taken down by Bill Moss.
One of the key matchups we're watching today is Bill Moss against Webster. Webster, the all-pro center, against 63 Moss. Now, Webster is the perennial all-pro. Moss is a kind of a stand-up right there, but look at Moss's hustle right here. He wasn't going to make the tackle at the line of scrimmage. He ran around him, and he went and made the tackle. Good hustle on the young second-year player.
Bill Moss, who played his college football at the University of Pittsburgh, changed of direction by Pollard. Close to the first down. Ken Jolly on the stop. So Bill Moss going up against the 12-year veteran Mike Webster. Pittsburgh with Wolfley and Long at the guards. Ilkin and Penny at the tackles. It's a third down and 1 at the Kansas City 31. 5 minutes gone by in this third quarter. And Woodley has the first down. So David Woodley, who has taken over for Mark Malone, out with a sprained big toe, did not make the trip, back in Pittsburgh.
Mike Webster with the key block on this short yardage run. Will be blocking on Moss, 63, and just turns him to the right. And Woodley up inside, but a key block by Webby, the 12-year pro who is one of the real leaders on this ball club. almost took a coaching job last year with Forrest Gregg up in Green Bay, but he decided to stay on and play center for the Steelers.
And today his 171st straight game. Hasn't missed a game in some 12 years. Woodley able to peg one. Stallworth off the sideline pattern. And it is ruled a completed pass taken out of bounds by Kevin Ross.
Kevin Ross remembers the first game of last year when these receivers ate him alive, and he's still been answering to it. Wanted to play today. Both feet down, good completion. Now you got to stop.
And that was good for 5 yards. Second down and 5 at the 23. A steady drive here by the Steelers. 6th play of this series. And back to the ground for Abercrombie. Scott Radisek. Gary Blanton combining.
Marv,
Abercrombie.
Excuse me, we're talking about this Steeler offensive line, how well they're doing and moving the ball methodically down the field. They're a little bit smaller than the average NFL offensive line. In fact, they're probably 2 inches, they are 2 inches shorter and maybe 10 pounds lighter, but they like them that way because they're all weightlifters and they all have quick feet, good movement. They do a lot of trapping, and that is pulling behind the line of scrimmage, and they have to have good feet to do that.
Terry Long at 5'11", 260. And right there, the quick opener for Frank Pollard, who drives for the first down. Mike Bell stopping Pollard.
Here you see right here, it's a safety blitz with Robinson and Cherry. They're both coming in. Watch the guard right here and come to the side and trap the 2 safeties, or one of the safeties. As you see, both safeties coming up. Long, 74, gets a piece of them, and now you can make some big plays if 63, Moss, hadn't come off and gotten a piece of the runner.
Pittsburgh first down at the Kansas City 16. Again, Woodley with the short pop, and it continues to work. John Stallworth with a stutter step move on Kevin Ross.
Woodley calling a very good game. We saw the blitz on a little bit earlier. A trap is very good against the blitz right up the middle. Here you see a little quick out. Again, they're blitzing, sending more people than you can block, and he just gets rid of the football very quickly. Stallworth tries to make a big play out of it by missing a tackle. Ross holding on and then gets some help.
And that is catch number 6 for Stallworth. It picked up 7. Second down and 3 at the 9. Now Lips to the right, Stallworth in the slot. Woodley with the time. Intended for Lips, and a penalty marker down. It is against Pittsburgh.
Both the Chiefs and the Steelers among the
Offense, illegal use of the hands, 89. That's a 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Benny Cunningham on the call, on the foul, but both the Chiefs and Steelers among the least penalized teams in the National Football League.
Cincinnati leading Cleveland 17-7. Of course, both those teams come in at 4 and 5, part of that log jam in the AFC Central. Second down, 13. Ball spotted back at the 19. Here's Abercrombie, and he's stacked up. Harry Blanton with the first hit.
You look right here at Jerry Blanton as he's going to slide over here and make a tackle right in the center of the hole. Good blocking by the Steelers. No one was on Blanton. As you see the double team right there on Moss, 63. The guard should have come off and blocked Blanton, but when he didn't, Blanton was right there to make the play.
And Pittsburgh now third down and 13 of the Kansas City 19. Steelers leading Kansas City 27-14. Lewis Lips inside the 10.
Pass to Lewis Lips.
It is short of a first down by 3 yards. Picked up 10 on the play. And so the field goal unit comes on, and Gary Anderson, who's had a shaky season coming into today, 12 for 20, but he has connected twice this afternoon from 35 and 31. This is a 26-yard attempt. And Anderson makes it 3 out of 3. Now the official marker is 27-yard field goal. We'll be right back. A rainy, windy day in Kansas City, Missouri. Marv Albert with Bob Griese. Pittsburgh now leading Kansas City by the score of 30-14. And this is Jeff Smith. Smith, the rookie from Nebraska, out across the 30-yard line. We're set for another update. Let's return to Bob Costas and NFL 85. Now from the 32-yard line, Kansas City looking to get something going here in this third quarter with 6 minutes remaining. It's been a rough day for Bill Kenney. He swings it out. Ethan Horton bumped out at the 37-yard line. Well, several of the World Series champion Kansas City Royals on hand today. And there's the Surrey's most valuable player, Brett Saberhagen. Middle of your screen in the white sweater, Dane Orge.
Certainly knows when the camera's on him, doesn't he?
Brett always ready.
I remember in the dugout during the League Championship Series. He always knew when the camera was looking his way.
2nd down and 5 from the 37. And here's Pruitt. And Mike Pruitt not able to get going against this very tough Pittsburgh defensive unit. John Goodman on the stop. Goodman missed the first 4 weeks of the season with a knee injury, working his way back into the starting lineup. And now doing it on the right side. He was a starter for 3 years at left defensive end.
And he's their run defense specialist. He is very tough against the run, and they move him around, as you said, Mark.
3rd down and 2 for the Chiefs. And the first down is picked up. Ethan Horton on the reception. Robin Cole makes the stop. Sarcastic roar from the crowd as the Chiefs pick up the first down. Check of the scoreboard. Cincinnati leading Cleveland. Jim Breach adding a 28-yard field goal. Rams over the Giants 16-7 in the third. Chicago leading Detroit. Nothing new on the refrigerator of that ball game. Seattle leads New Orleans in the third quarter. So Seattle being held in check, coming off the clobbering of the Raiders last week at the Kingdome. First down for Kansas City from their 45-yard line. And again, the short pass for Horton. David Little on the stop. So Kenney not taking any chances and just completing these little short dump-offs. Tampa Bay leading St. Louis in the fourth quarter, and now New England over Indianapolis. The Patriots getting off slowly. Minnesota in front of Green Bay in the fourth. And Buffalo leading Houston. Philadelphia throwing a blank. Here's a draw play. It started out as a draw, then Horton took it to the outside. Ethan Horton has been a major disappointment. A top draft pick out of North Carolina. Many considered him to be the best running back in the draft. He's done it as a receiver, but not on the ground.
I think some people feel, Marv, he is too tall for the position. He's about 6'4", weighs about 225, and you don't see many good running backs that tall these days. He's not real quick, but he's got the best thing that you can say about him is he's done well in the passing game, and they certainly have used him here in Kansas City.
And the Chiefs still looking for a running back who can do it on a consistent basis. 3rd and a half yard. And Pruitt got hit by his own man.
Well, there was nothing there to start with, Marv, and you say they're still looking for a consistent man. I don't think they have ever recovered from the loss, the tragic death of Joe Delaney 4 or 5 years ago. The Chiefs have gone 50 straight without a 100-yard rushing day. Billy Jackson the last in 1981, and you just cannot play and win consistently in the National Football League without balance.
And here is Jim Arnold for the 7th time today. His last was that 13-yard shot off the side of his foot. And it carries in. So Pittsburgh will put it in play from the 20. A 47-yard punt. Will be back here in Kansas City in a moment. The Kansas City Chiefs, and people have wondered about the future of head coach John Mackovic, although Kansas City management says no problem. But Larry Scoot King on the NFL 85 show said that he has learned that Makovic will quit before he is fired. Of course, they said that about you on several occasions.
Well, I think what happens is when you start playing poorly, the fans want you to play well, and there's a lot of that comes out. But like you say, there's been none of that from management.
Frank Pollard on the carry.
Pollard on the carry. It's been a string of controversial weeks, though, for John Makovic, although he did try to quiet things down. You may recall several weeks ago he was upset about a loss to the San Diego Chargers, and he took away the Chiefs' hot lunches, and he really hammered his players in the press, and also extended practices, went through a series of punishment measures. And recently, though, he's tried a new twist. We'll get back to that in a moment as Pollard tries to go to the outside. Get the idea that it's like when you look to perhaps punish your child, then maybe you start thinking, well, maybe I'm being too tough, and he's gone the other way in recent weeks.
I think you only have to look to the other side of the field today, Marv, and look at Chuck Noll. He says consistency is the most important thing for a head coach. If you have consistency, you have trust between your players, between the players and the coaching staff. If you have trust, you're going to be have harmony, and harmony you're going to be able to build a winner, and that is the key for him. There'll be no bickering, no distractions, and no division, and trust and consistency in the coaching staff will get it done.
3rd and 6 from the 24, and Woodley goes deep. Intended for Lips. Greg Hill on the coverage. Back to the scoreboard. The Giants have come from behind, now lead the Rams 17-16 in the 3rd. A Joe Morris 1-yard run, and Morris has come alive the last couple of weeks. Chicago now in front of Detroit. Steve Fuller, one-time Kansas City Chief, replacing the injured Jim McMahon for the Bears. Tampa Bay in front of St. Louis. And now Newsom back to punt. His 4th punt of the day. We're down to 30 seconds remaining 3rd quarter. Flag thrown. Here's Lane, and he lets it drop. But a penalty marker is down. Getting back to John Makovic in his 3rd year as head coach in Kansas City, he and management felt they were really on the right track last year. They finished at 8-8. Chiefs winning their final 3 last season, including a victory over Denver, but after that good start of 3-1, it has gone the other way.
Offense, illegal motion, decline of penalty, 4th down.
See, they haven't been fortunate in the close games either, but Makovic is first time as a head coach. Marv, this is his 3rd year, so I think there are some things for young coaches to learn. You may know football and you may know a position, but you may not know how to handle the entire roster of personalities and what have you, and I think that is something that these young head coaches around the league need to know and need to learn how to handle not only the players but the press and all the other distractions, and some of them learn that and some of them don't.
23 seconds left. 3rd quarter. You're saying the press is a distraction?
Well, I think you have to know how to deal with it. Obviously, it's a very popular game.
Here's Pruitt. And Darrell Sims, a rookie from Wisconsin, coming up with only his 2nd tackle of the season. He has actually seen quite a bit of playing time because of the injuries and the shuffling around up front.
Chuck Noll will have something to talk about at his press conference on Tuesday. He always opens his press conference by saying Sims only has 1 tackle all year. 112 yards in 3 quarters.
Bill Kenney 9 for 22. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Has a 2nd and 12 from the 42 as we get underway in this 4th quarter. Carson on the reception and a flag thrown. Donnie Shell making the stop. And that's the first catch for Carson today. if it holds.
It won't, because it's called offensive. We're talking with Tony Dungy.
Offense, pass interference, number 88.
It's Carlos Carson on the interference, but in talking with the defensive coordinator for the Steelers, Dungy, yesterday, one of the things they wanted to do was stop Carlos Carson, and they certainly have done that. That was his first catch, but that will be taken back. Tony Dungy, the man leaning forward with the headset on, is the defensive coordinator. He used to be a quarterback at the University of Minnesota. And talking to him a little yesterday about how well Minnesota is doing. These quarterbacks can do anything. Really.
And then a defensive back in the throws. Ethan Horton on the reception, but another flag thrown. Although Tony Dungy did take over as a disaster quarterback for the Steelers.
And it's interesting, too, because he was here when Donnie Shell was playing and left and came back as a coach. And actually, Shell is older than his coach, Dungy. Great respect between the two, though, as you see Shell, 31 on the left, one of the leaders of this team, upset about something. Donnie Shell taking a more active role as a leader on the Steeler defense since the retirement of Lambert, Jack Lambert, Joe Green, and L.C. Greenwood.
Ben Bright trying to sort it out. Let's see what the call is.
The flag was thrown for 12 men on the field. Only 11 men were on the field. No penalty.
That's Ben Bright. He'll tell it like it is, whether it's embarrassing to the officials or not. But better that than be wrong.
Someone saw double. That's a corrected score. Tampa Bay in front 13-0 rather than 12-0 as was shown earlier. Minnesota leads Green Bay 17-6 in the fourth. It is a third down and long. Back at the 42. And it is broken up, but a flag thrown again.
Completed, Marv. He caught it on the ground.
Well, it was Mike Holston.
Should have been intercepted by Swain, and then it was Holston on the ground that made the catch.
There's a penalty on the play.
John Swain had the shot at it. And let's see what this flag is
Use of the
on.
hands on the defense. Decline the penalty. First down.
84 in the red is Holston. Releases inside of Swain, 26. Now Swain is going to come back to the inside and make the interception, he thinks, and then the ball pops right down into Mike Holston's hands. Well, his first reception as a Kansas City Chief.
Mike Holston, who was picked up, signed as a free agent earlier in the week. 17-yard pass play. First down at the Pittsburgh 41. Kenney getting the time and completes again. Let's see, Carlos Carson with his first catch of the day.
Got an isolate right here on Carson. This is the number one thing a receiver has to do, is release off the line of scrimmage. You saw Clayton, 33, trying to jam him. That's something that's not talked about a lot, as the throw is right there in between two Steelers, is getting your release off the line of scrimmage. That time Carson got away clean.
Carlos Carson caught 89 passes in college at LSU, most of them thrown by the current Steeler quarterback, David Woodley. And again a flag is thrown. Merriweather getting a piece of it. Pass intended for Carson.
He had Carlos Carson open, Marv. If he would have just thrown a little bit higher, the linebacker got his hand up and deflected it. But I think what's going to happen here is they're going to call the defensive man that was covering Carson on a little bit of a push.
Ball's being deflected, going every which way here in the opening minutes of the fourth quarter.
Excuse me, Marv. The rule is any deflected ball, there can be no interference.
It's an incomplete pass. The ball was tipped, so there's no defensive pass interference.
Very nice, Bob.
The ball was tipped first.
Take a look at it right here. Williams, 21 at the bottom of your screen, is held this time, and the deflection right there nullifies number 22, Rick Woods, on the push.
How would referee strikes go with the Argyle sweater?
That is a thankless job, and I would not want to be an official.
Second down and 10. Again, Kenney with the time. Merriweather forced it out. Jeff Smith, the rookie out of Nebraska, with his third catch of the day. One went for a touchdown.
One of the things the Steelers are doing is playing very conservative defensively. That means that the offense of the Chiefs has to be patient. The Steelers started this about 6 weeks ago against Marino and almost beat the Dolphins.
Third down play. And another touchdown for Jeff Smith. His second of the day.
By being patient, you have to take the underneath stuff. As you look at the protection, Kenney looks to his left and comes back. Now the back, Smith, was running an option out of the backfield on Merriweather. The same play that he beat Merriweather on earlier in the game for a touchdown. He got his second touchdown of the game. The back has the option to break to the inside or outside.
13-yard touchdown play. Earlier, Kenney and Smith combined for 45 yards. And Nick Lowry pounds it through. So, a minute and a half gone by, fourth quarter, as Kansas City closes the gap. With Bob Griese from Arrowhead in Kansas City, as Nick Lowry gets set to kick off to the Steelers, who went 7 plays, 56 yards in a minute and 51 to get on the board. And here's Spencer. Todd Spencer on the return. And a good one. Out near the 40. Bruce King making the stop, so Spencer goes 30 yards. And Pittsburgh back to the offense. Steelers come in at 4-5, going into that 4-way tie for first in the AFC Central. Not able to do it on the road thus far this season. 0-4 away from Three Rivers. And including today and next week, Pittsburgh, let's see, at Houston next Sunday. 4 of the last 7 are away from Three Rivers Stadium. First down at the 39. Woodley throwing. And a flag is down. Mike Bell all over David Woodley. The intended receiver was John Stallworth.
Penalty on the play.
Woodley wanted to throw to his right to Lewis Lips, and that's where the flag is.
On the offense, 73. Illegal contact on the defense, number 29. Offset penalty.
73 is the left guard Craig Wolfley. And 29 is Albert Lewis, the left cornerback for Kansas City.
You're talking about the Steelers winless on the road this year, Marv. It's not anything that has gone on for years. The Steelers won some big ball games last year on the road at San Francisco and then at the Raiders and, of course, in the playoffs at Denver.
Stallworth to the left, Lips right. First down from the 39. Here's Abercrombie running hard out to the 43. Jerry Blanton on the stop.
Walter Abercrombie, the ball carrier. Tackled by Jerry Blanton.
At Pittsburgh, offensive line with Penny and Ilkin at the tackles, Wolfley and Long at the guards, Webster the center.
Terry Long, an interesting story, one of the strongest men in the league and definitely the shortest at 5'11".
Second down and 5. Long about 260 pounds to go along with the 5 feet 11 inches. Quick opener for Pollard. Close to the first down marker. Again, it's Blanton. He tripped up Pollard. Pittsburgh paying its first visit to Arrowhead since back in 1979.
Here's Long, Marv. We're talking about him. He's going to pull and trap right here as the end comes across the line of scrimmage. We talk about traps a lot. The guard pulls behind the line of scrimmage and blocks the defensive end, Bell, from the side.
Bob, the last time Pittsburgh was here in Kansas City, their starting lineup included names such as Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris, Lynn Swan, Mean Joe Green, Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, fellow we saw earlier today, Rocky Blyer.
And only 3 remain from those 4 championship teams, and that is Donnie Shell, Stallworth, and Webster. And I think, Marv, when you talk about leadership on a team, those are the old time. All 3 of those players have been in the league 12 years, as opposed to the Chiefs, a young ball club. You need that leadership. When things go bad, somebody can come in and say, hey, this is not as bad as you think it is. Just hang together and things will turn around.
3rd down and about a half yard to go at midfield. And let's see, did Woodley pick it up? He did. A first down for Pittsburgh. 11.5 remaining in this 4th quarter. And the Steelers leading Kansas City by the score of 30-21.
The thing the Steelers need here is a good time-consuming drive with that run-oriented offense, and it'll be featuring that offensive line. Again, not the biggest, but short, squatty, and very quick so they can move around in smaller areas.
Pollard. And Ehrenberg. In the backfield, you saw Ehrenberg go downfield, and let's see, that's Ehrenberg on the reception.
Just a great catch by Ehrenberg, Marv. This is something that Woodley gives to the offense that maybe Mark Malone doesn't, and that is mobility. He likes to run around. He gave Ehrenberg time to get open. This was a busted play. A throw was a little bit underthrown, and Ehrenberg comes back, slides, and makes a good catch.
It's a 34-yard pass play. Ehrenberg coming out of the backfield for the reception. First down at the Kansas City 14. And here's Ehrenberg. Inside the 5, breaking tackles.
Rich Ehrenberg, ball carrier.
That's the first time that he has carried. Albert Lewis on the stop. Rich Ehrenberg in his 2nd season out of Colgate.
Here's Woodley right here. He's going to pull and lead this time for Ehrenberg 24. Going to try and get a block right there on Burris. 34. Burris runs around the block, and that opens a hole for Ehrenberg. It's a big drive for the Steelers, Marv.
And a 1st and goal from the 4. Rich Ehrenberg, the spark. The 34-yard pass play, the longest reception of his NFL career. Woodley throwing end zone and broken up. Intended for Lewis Lips. Albert Lewis on the coverage.
Good play by Lewis in the end zone. That's tough when the receiver goes into the end zone and delays a little bit and then comes back to the quarterback still in the end zone, because the only route to the ball for the defensive back is through the receiver. You have to time your contact at the same time the ball gets there.
David Woodley now 12 for 23, 217 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He has had a good day. Now has a backfield of Abercrombie and Ehrenberg. 2nd and goal from the 4. Ehrenberg in motion. Abercrombie. Picked up a yard, if that. Scott Radisek was right there.
Good defensive charge by the Chiefs. Moss and Lindstrom in there. Ham, Radisek, Bell. Tough to score on down inside the 3-yard line. The Chiefs very tough when their backs are to the wall.
It is a 3rd and goal from the 3. Now Pollard and Ehrenberg, the the setbacks. Woodley on the roll. Looking for the tight end. That's Gothard. And let's see, it's being waved off. A flag throw. Was he outside the end zone? Apparently he was, and a penalty marker is down. So Preston Gothard, who has not caught a pass all season, that time the receiver. The penalty called against Pittsburgh.
Offense, pass interference, number 86.
And that is Gothard.
Caught on Gothard. He must have pushed off before the ball got to him, because there was no foul here. He makes a good catch, but the official in your screen right there to the right, 47, had already thrown the flag on him, so he knew that the touchdown would not be allowed, even if he did catch it in bounds. It was a good catch. It was a good touchdown, but he had pushed off before.
So third down and goal, back at the 13. Kansas City looking to make its move. They had 10 men up on the line and anxious.
They were very anxious, Marv. A safety blitz inside. Woodley did a good thing in stuttering his cadence to pull him off sides. See the umpire there and the head linesman talking it over. The umpire is Ed Pfiffick.
False start on the right guard on the offense.
The right guard is Terry Long.
All right, a check of the scoreboard. Undefeated Chicago looking to make it 10-0. Having no problems. Tampa Bay with the surprise, looking for their first win. Green Bay over Minnesota in the fourth quarter. Buffalo providing problems for Houston. Houston coming in at 4-5 in that four-way tie in the AFC Central. And here, Pittsburgh leading Kansas City 30-21. 9:16 left in the fourth quarter. And Pittsburgh being pushed back now, a third and goal, but from the 18. Guns for the end zone. Intended for Lips. So Kansas City able to hold Pittsburgh, and a field goal attempt upcoming for Gary Anderson, who is connected on 3 of 3.
Saw a shot of Woodley there, frustrated. The Chiefs were up making the safety blitz. Deron Cherry then double covered Stallworth, and Woodley had to go to an outlet receiver.
36-yard attempt. He's hit from 35, 31, and 27. And now from 36. So Gary Anderson turning it here today. We'll be right back. Game with some Miami Dolphin flavor as we look from up top alongside one of the greats of the Miami Dolphin. Both quarterbacks from the Miami organization. Bill Kenney, a 12th round draft pick several years ago, and David Woodley, a man who played for the Dolphins and who was coached by Bob Griese.
Certainly was, and doing very well here today. I'm impressed with Woodley.
Garcia Lane on the return. Some beautiful moves by Lane. .8:55 remaining in this fourth quarter. Kansas City trailing 33-21, and watch the kickoff return by Lane.
Garcia Lane, the special teams involved in this game have been very important. We said earlier the Steelers last in the league in kickoff coverage. Garcia Lane taking advantage of it.
So he goes 37 yards on the return. First down from the 37. And Bill Kenney checking it out. And he goes short. Bruce King out of the backfield. David Little, the inside linebacker, on the stop. And Mike Merriweather gets involved with a couple of Chiefs. Ben Dreith ushering Merriweather aside. Next Sunday, join NBC Sports for a football doubleheader. The early game features either the Steelers taking on the Houston Oilers or the Miami Dolphins against the Indianapolis Colts, plus other regional action. A doubleheader day right here on NBC. 2nd and 3. Intended for Anthony Hancock.
That was a changeup, Marv. For the first time in a while, the Steelers were not in zone coverage. They had a blitz on. Hancock was open, but Kenney had to throw the ball a little bit earlier than he'd like to, and actually threw it out of bounds. If he'd had a little bit more time, it would have been a big completion.
That's a come-from-behind effort by the Giants. Seattle over New Orleans in the 4th quarter, 24-3. 3rd down and 3. Kenney is now 15 for 30. Intended for Jeff Smith. Now we're set for an update. Let's go to Bob Costas, NFL 85. Arnold with a good high punt. Lewis Lips looking for the opening, but covered. Scott Radosek on the tackle. 48-yard punt, 13-yard return. Other and son combination. Backup quarterback Todd Blackledge of the Kansas City Chiefs, and his dad, an assistant coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ron Blackledge, one-time head coach at Kent State. First down from the 22. Pittsburgh up by the score of 33-21. Frank Pollard, the ball carrier. Stopped by Mike Bell. Well, if Kansas City going to get back into it, that last drive was the opportunity, but again, a 1-2-3 punt situation.
You got to give credit to the Steeler defense, Marv. They're only rushing 3 men. They're getting good pressure with 3, and they have good coverage in the secondary. Kenney didn't have anybody to go to.
Pollard picked up 5, 2nd and 5 out of the 25. There's a trick play, behind the back maneuver for Ehrenberg. And the first down is picked up. That's something you taught David Woodley, a little flip behind the back.
Well, it was kind of a Statue of Liberty play, Marv. Go back and take a look at it. Right here is Ehrenberg, and they're going to double team right here on Moss, and he's going to come right here. You're going to see a big hole as Woodley, a little Statue of Liberty, double team on Moss. And Ehrenberg with a nice hole.
And it's a first down at the 39. So Ehrenberg, 2 carries, 22 yards. Down to 6.5 remaining in this 4th quarter. And here's Pollard. Out to the 45, met there by the right corner, Kevin Ross.
The Steelers offensively don't do a lot of flashy things, Marv. They most always in right formation, which means they put their tight end to the right. They don't throw a lot to their tight end. They throw to their 2 wide receivers. They don't use the shotgun. Chuck Noll says too many bad things can happen. You can drop the ball on the snap, similar to what happened last week against Pittsburgh in Cleveland, when Cleveland lost the game on a bad snap. But he likes to keep it pretty close to his vest.
2nd down and 4. And here's Ehrenberg. Nowhere to go. Calvin Daniels, number 50, right there. Of course, when a gadget play misfired earlier in the season against Cincinnati, Chuck Noll took responsibility, said it was his fault, but since then, there have been no trick plays attempted at all by the Steelers.
No reverses, and they like the reverse with Lewis Lips, and the quarterbacks call the plays, but I'm sure that if Chuck Noll says, let's hold off on the reverses for a while, the quarterbacks don't call them.
3rd down and 9. Pittsburgh from its 40. Down to 5:15 left, 4th quarter. Able to shake one loose. John Stallworth. What a play.
play that the Chiefs executed a little bit earlier. We'll see right here, the blitz, man-to-man coverage deep in the secondary, so Stallworth has him man-to-man. There's nobody else around. Now the ball is going to be hit by Stallworth, knocked up into the air. Albert Lewis goes down. Stallworth, great competitor, tries to keep it in play and does, and makes a fantastic catch. Concentration supreme right here as he keeps it in play and then makes the catch.
41-yard pass play, his 7th catch of the day. We've had some dandies today. First down at the 19. And Ken Jolly able to get to the quarterback.
That had to be a busted play. I can't see Woodley keeping the play on that one. Let's go back and take another look at this catch. As you see, there's nobody else down there because everybody was in on the quarterback. Albert Lewis knocks the ball to the right, and Stallworth, great vision, keeps it in play. Just an outstanding play. You know, in talking with the Steeler coaches, they can't say enough about John Stallworth, what a competitor he is and how good he has been for Lewis Lip.
2nd and 9 at the 18. Here's Ehrenberg on a slant. Picked up 3. Scott Radisek, inside linebacker, on the stop. Cincinnati now over Cleveland 27-10 in the 4th quarter. And that's the final. Chicago remaining unbeaten. And Seattle over New Orleans, final score.
Seattle's got it going.
Seattle will play New England at the Kingdome next week.
It's another team that has it going.
Green Bay leading Minnesota in the 4th quarter. Atlanta closing on Philadelphia in the 4th. 3rd and 6 at the 15. We're down to 2:45 left, 4th quarter. Quick opener for Pollard. And he's shy of the first down. Mike Bell on the stop. Next week on NFL 85, Pete Rozelle, the commissioner of the National Football League, will be in the studio live. In fact, there will be a live studio audience for the first time at NFL 85. Incidentally, Bob, is an added treat for those of you who will be part of next week's live audience. Ahmad Rashad will be available to pose for photographs, personalized photographs for $1 a piece, and for $1.50 he puts his arm around you.
What will Costas do? Anything special?
You didn't think that was... All right, Gary Anderson with the clock stopped at 2:11 remaining will attempt his 5th field goal of the day, and that would be a career high. Anderson had missed 8 field goals coming into today's game. He missed only 8 all of last season, but thus far today he has been perfect. And there you see it from 35, 31, 27, and 36. And this will be a 28-yard attempt for the 4-year man out of Syracuse, who last week in the final seconds beat Cleveland by connecting from 25 yards away.
And if he makes this, Marv, it'll be a team record also. Steelers with an impressive win on the road. As we said, 0-4 coming in, and the Steelers thinking that Chiefs thinking they had it back together.
Here's the attempt. Off the high snap. And Anderson is 5 for 5. So that is a Pittsburgh Steeler Club record.
It's been a good day for Anderson, and a good day in a couple of ways. One, he's made 5 field goals, and 2, they haven't been real difficult tries. They've all been in that range where none of them over 40, 45 yards where they've been real tough. So he's got to be pretty happy about a big day today.
And what is left of this crowd now filing out? Capacity here is 78,000. Crowd today 46,126, and most of them either gone or headed toward the exit. Next Sunday we'll have an NFL doubleheader. The early games will feature either the Steelers and the Oilers or the Dolphins against the Colts. Buffalo playing at Cleveland. Other regional action on hand. Second half of The doubleheader has Cincinnati playing the Raiders, New England at Seattle, San Diego at Denver, and these Kansas City Chiefs move on to Candlestick Park in San Francisco.
It only gets worse for the Chiefs going out to the coast to play the 49ers, who are trying to make a run at coming back and catching the Rams.
And Tampa Bay has won its first of the season. They gave the Giants a tough time last week. Here's the return by Jeff Smith. Smith out to the 27-yard line. Now 2 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. We'll be back after these words. On the left, Chuck Noll, a man who's won 4 Super Bowls. On the right, a man who is having a very difficult time. John McAfee, head coach, Kansas City Chiefs. Chuck Noll and his Steelers going on to its first victory on the road and a 500 record at 5-5 in that wild AFC Central. Is it parity or parody? P-A-R-O-D-Y. I'm not certain, but it probably will make for an interesting race the rest of the way.
The Central Division of the AFC used to be one of the toughest. It still is one of the toughest, but I think they have slipped a little bit, and that doesn't mean it's going to be any easier to win the division, because I think they're all pretty balanced in there. But Chuck Noll coming in said it's a 7-game season, and they certainly are starting off on the right foot today with a big win on the road.
Pittsburgh at Houston next week, and then home for Washington and Denver. Kansas City first down from the 27 as Kenney goes out of the shotgun. Just under 2 minutes left, fourth quarter. A bullet thrown by Kenney. And Anthony Hancock picks up the first down. Merriweather on the tackle.
Chuck Noll is really a special type of coach, Marv. He's not the high-pressure type, really low-pressure, low-profile, doesn't care for the media interviews, lets his assistants get a lot of the coaching and the attention, and been very successful. The players all speak very highly of him.
Mike Holston, new addition to this Kansas City club on that reception, stopped by Robin Cole. Clock running, as you see, down to 1:15 left. 2nd and 4, and another first down for Kansas City.
This is the type of thing that the Chiefs needed to be doing all day. The Steelers' deep coverage in the secondary, just hit the underneath stuff and hope one of your guys can break a tackle.
And a timeout has been called. We'll break for these words. Have owned the football throughout the day. There's Smith. Jeff Smith has had a good game. Merriweather on the stop. Time running down, under a minute left in this fourth quarter. Pittsburgh with a 36-21 lead on Kansas City. A terrific day for David Woodley. And again, the completion. These will be meaningless stats that are just being piled up here in the final minutes. Ethan Horton on the reception. Stallworth and Lips combining for 10 catches. Outstanding game for that Pittsburgh wide receiver tandem. Here's Kenney stepping up and going sideline, and incomplete. Intended for Carlos Carson, so the clock is stopped with 26 seconds left.
You're right, Marv. Stallworth and Lips, 2 of the best receivers tandem-wise in the entire National Football League. Stallworth with 1 touchdown, Lips with 3 catches, but a touchdown on a punt return. They can do it so many different ways. Coming into today.
Yeah, coming in, trailing only Hill and Renfro, but leading the AFC with 83 catches, so they now have combined for 93 on the season. Also 5 field goals, a Pittsburgh Steelers club record. 5 field goals kicked by Gary Anderson. And here's Herman Hurd. Clock running, and now it is stopped. 18 seconds remaining. Little and Williams stopping Hurd on a 17-yard play. And the timeout has been called.
David Little's had a good day all over the field as we wind down here at the end. David Little has really been overshadowed the last couple of years. First by his brother Larry Little, who was an All-Pro for so many years with the Dolphins, and then with Jack Lambert. The retirement of Jack Lambert, he was always in the shadow of the great Jack Lambert. And now he's coming into his own, leads the Steelers in tackles. and really doesn't get mentioned a lot there, because if you talk about the all-pros in that linebacker core, you mentioned Robin Cole, who went to the Pro Bowl, and also Merriweather.
And a look at the AFC Central standings with a Pittsburgh victory today, along with Cincinnati beating Cleveland and Houston losing to Buffalo. That is the situation. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati are tied for the lead, and Cleveland and Houston now at 4 up and 6 down. 18 seconds left. Kansas City has 1 timeout remaining. Kenney throws end zone, touchdown. Anthony Hancock with a second touchdown of the season.
This is just meaningless statistics right here. As you see, Clayton, 33, he had the inside coverage. It was Woods and Clayton on an in-and-out double team, and Hancock got behind Clayton and made the catch.
15 seconds remaining. Nick Lowry attempting the extra point. He has been perfect this season. And the high snap. So Hancock with 4 catches for 58 yards and the touchdown. And Pittsburgh now leading Kansas City by the score of 36-28. That is the Kansas City mascot, Warpink, talking about the horse.
Yeah.
Coming up, NFL 85, complete wrap-up, all the scores and highlights. Bob Costas, Ahmad Rashad, Pete Axtell. That'll be following the Steelers and the Chiefs.
Warpaint used to have the rider with the spear that used to be on fire, and every time they'd score, would come to the middle of the field and throw it down, but they don't do that on artificial turf. That was in the old stadium.
Bob knows his mascots.
Final score, Chicago 24, Detroit 3.
All right, here's Nick Lowry getting set to kick off. Only 15 seconds remaining.
This is called a squib kick. The way he sets the ball on the tee, obviously doesn't want to kick it so they can get a return.
And it is covered up. Number 90, Bob Coors, 5-year pro out of Arizona State, backup linebacker. And the Steelers will just run it out. Kansas City dropping to a record of 3-7, their 6th consecutive loss. First time they've lost 6 in a row since back in 1978 when they finished at 4-12. And David Woodley concluding a terrific day, 22 for 38. Lipson Stallworth, the beneficiary of the Woodley passing, the 5 field goals by Gary Anderson. And this one is all over. The Steelers over the Chiefs, 36-28. And Pittsburgh now at 5-5. So they are now in a 2-way tie for the lead in the AFC Central. And for the first time this year, they have won 2 in a row.
That's a good point. And that was something that has been very disturbing to them, that they have not put wins back-to-back. They lost 3 in a row earlier in the season, but the fact that they have not won on the road yet.
Now you look back at this ball game, and if you were to single out a play, it had to be that 71-yard punt return by Lewis Lips, because this put Pittsburgh on top 20-14. They were down by 1 at this point.
Exactly. This is the thing that turned around the game earlier in the first half. Lips with a key block from Chris Brown, and then just outruns the entire coverage of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs providing a scare early with that 47-yard interception return for the touchdown by Deron Cherry. And now watch this sensational catch by John Stallworth.
This just shows you what a tremendous athlete and competitor 82 John Stallworth is. The comeback player of the year last year is having a great year this year. Look at him as he knocks the ball up, turns over, and catches it. Just a tremendous play.
So the passing of Woodley, the catching of Stallworth and Lips. Some good play by Ehrenberg, particularly in the second half. Abercrombie with a solid day on the ground, and the 5 field goals by Anderson, and it spells a 36-28 victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is Marv Albert.